Flip My Florida Yard is brought to you by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Protecting Florida's environment starts with you. What you do in your yard can have an impact on the health of our environment and water resources.
Welcome to Flip My Florida Yard. On today's episode, we head to Florida's east central coast, where our homeowners are looking to transform a bland front yard into a beachgoer's paradise.
We just spend a lot of time outside in New Smyrna, and we know all of our neighbors. It's just such a cool little community to live in.
On this episode, we flip a yard from boring to bursting with Florida-friendly plants and principles.
We want to make sure our water's clean, is safe, and we're keeping all that water here in the center of the yard.
We meet a couple who wants a yard that won't harm the nearby waterways.
So just being aware of how we're treating our yards is something that we're very encouraged to do.
We show off a simple DIY project.
We're going to give the homeowners a nice little entrance into their yard.
Then it's Honeybee 101.
People have kept and managed bees and worked with honeybees for thousands of years just so they can collect that golden reward.
We show you how to keep your container plants looking bold and beautiful.
We all have beautiful container plants that we want to keep looking that way. And one of the ways to do that might be to apply fertilizer.
We turn reused materials into landscaping treasure.
Thank you for everything you guys are doing, especially installing this last panel. We got one panel to go here.
Then it's time to remove those glasses.
That's exactly what we wanted.
Hey, Chad!
What?
Come flip my yard!
All this and more on Flip My Florida Yard. We're knocking on doors
So excited.
and flipping yards into beautiful Florida-friendly landscapes, and all in 8 hours.
Is this really happening?
Who's ready?
Organized chaos.
Experts show us how to use Florida-friendly landscaping principles.
Putting the right plant in the right place.
Water efficiently.
Very low maintenance.
Fertilize appropriately.
All leading up to a dramatic reveal.
The best surprise of our whole life.
We're on Florida's East Coast in the quaint little surf town of New Smyrna Beach. But we're not here to surf. Oh, no. We're here to flip a yard. You guys ready to flip a yard? Yeah! Let's go get our homeowners. Julie and Jesse, come on out here. Hey, you guys asked for this, right?
I guess so.
We are the Abich family. I moved to New Smyrna when Julian and I had just started dating. It has this really cool, like, small town, tropical feel. We love to ride our bikes with our surfboards and our boogie boards out to the beach. We just spend a lot of time outside in New Smyrna. We started talking about how we wanted our property to be, and we both agreed that we wanted to minimize our impact.
We're sandwiched between the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian River Lagoon. And so we want to make sure that we're mindful of what we're putting into those waters. So just being aware of how we're treating our yards and making sure that we're putting a minimal impact and making sure our footprint is as small as possible.
Welcome to our yard. This is it. It's a bunch of turf grass, weeds, St. Augustine creeping in, bahia, who knows what else.
So there's so many options out there, and we're indecisive with really exactly what we want to put on the yard. It's really just a blank slate.
We're really hoping that this flip is going to bring in more native plants, and it'll be really cool to have a garden that our animals can play in. So we'd like to introduce you to TC Tortoise, our 27-year-old leopard tortoise who would love to eat any of the edible plants that are put in our front yard. A lot of room to frolic, but it's really hot. There's no shade. Really, we're doing it to show everybody else that it can be done.
Please flip our yard.
Well, let me introduce you to the men and women who are going to give you this incredible Florida-friendly landscape. This is your flip crew. Before we get started, we got to get you out of here. So you guys ready to go?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, let's go. You guys know where you're going, right?
Yep.
To Mocha State Park. We'll see you at 4 o'clock, all right?
All right.
Get on out of here.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's get this flip going. We have 8 hours to flip this yard. 1, 2, 3, go, 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 go.
Our crew came in yesterday and removed 75% of the grass in the front yard. This is going to give us a nice head start for today's flip. Okay, let me give you a quick overview of the front yard here. Look, we took out a lot of sod. It gave us a nice blank slate to work with. You can see our designer has already placed a lot of these plants right where she wants them. We're gonna make a really nice pavered patio all right here. This is gonna be that place that they can sit and enjoy their new Florida-friendly landscape. Let me find our designer. We're already off to a good start here.
We are.
I mean, first of all, we have a great crew, right?
We do. They're awesome people here.
I know you had a chance to meet with the family. What are some of the things that they wanted in their yard, Jenny?
They really wanted Florida-friendly and particularly natives to attract the butterflies, pollinators, and birds.
Well, let's talk about a couple of your design features, okay?
Yes.
We'll be installing a pathway leading from the mailbox towards the front door. It will split and encircle a large tree and a rain garden. In years to come, this will provide shade and depth to the landscape.
We are going to put in wash shell. It compacts down nicely, so it'll make a nice hard surface. And it'll give the guests or them a chance to meander through the garden and enjoy the flowers along the way.
We'll be planting over 150 Florida-friendly plants and trees. This will bring in a wide range of wildlife, like bees, butterflies, birds, and oh yeah, food for TC the tortoise.
We also have to be very coastal minded. We couldn't just pick anything.
And that's right plant, right place, right? I mean, you may want a certain plant, but if that plant doesn't do well in this environment, it's not good for the plant, right?
Exactly.
We'll be planting some edible plants for the homeowners and the wildlife.
I have personal experience with a tortoise at home that loves the perennial peanut, and so I know we put a few extra little hidden gems in the landscape for their tortoise to be able to meander the yard and have a snack.
Jesse and Julian love their community, so we're giving them a large paver patio to host neighbors and relax, all surrounded by beautiful plants and trees.
New Smyrna has gorgeous sunrises, plus as they get the coverage from the front plants, it'll feel like a little mini oasis.
Jen's design calls for a swale in the middle of the yard to collect water and reduce stormwater runoff.
It's a challenging aspect to try to keep the water on property.
All this adds up to a beautiful, Florida-friendly landscape. But the real question is, are we going to get this done today?
Oh, yeah. We are getting this done.
Yeah. Every day, honeybees work hard for Florida's agriculture industry and our landscapes.
People have kept and managed bees and worked with honeybees for thousands of years just so they can collect that golden reward.
Jamie Ellis from the University of Florida's Honeybee Research and Extension Lab is here to tell us more about these fascinating insects.
Our team here at the Honeybee Research and Extension Laboratory at the University of Florida is quite large. We actively work in many different ways to protect honeybee populations and ensure their health and sustainability. We study things that are impacting honeybee colonies, and we try to develop ways to solve those problems. The beekeeping industry in Florida is massive. So when people think bee decline, they always watch the news and hear these reports of colony loss rates. In reality, we do have widespread losses, but beekeepers are working really hard to overcompensate for those losses to ensure that our honeybee populations are not only stable in the U.S., but are actually rising by about 1% a year. So there's an intimate relationship between Florida ecosystem, between Florida agriculture, and the bees we have here in the state. So they're incredibly important for us, and there's estimates out there that as much as 20% of global food production relies on the pollination efforts of the little honeybee. We get asked a lot, what can we do to help honeybee colonies? So I'm a huge advocate of ensuring that you plant native plants in your yard, plants that are known to be beneficial to not only bees as pollinators, but other pollinators that we have in the state. Additionally, you should always use pesticides responsibly. Follow the label. Not only is it the law, but it's written in a way to protect our pollinators. As we convert our yards to pollinator habitat, it won't take days and weeks for pollinators to find them. It'll take minutes before you have a brand new landscape full of critters that you've never seen before working on the plants that you've provided them.
Florida-friendly landscaping principles are so important because our resources here in Florida are finite. So today, the principles that we're implementing are right plant, right place, reducing stormwater runoff, and mulch.
So let's talk about right plant, right place. What does that mean?
So here on the coast, we're wanting to pick plants that are more salt tolerant and also that can be able to thrive well in the warmer temperatures.
So these plants need to really be drought tolerant because they're not going to get a lot of irrigated water.
Exactly, that's super important.
Yeah. What are we doing to the yard to reduce stormwater runoff?
Jenny, the designer, altered the grade so that the runoff from the roof would collect in the center of the yard, because as water travels, what it tends to do is collect pollutants and other nutrients, and then that goes to our other larger body of water. And we want to make sure our water's clean, is safe, and we're keeping all that water here in the center of the yard.
But when we're talking about thousands of yards, all that washing into a lake, river, or stream, that's a lot of pollutants. So this new flip is going to reduce that stormwater runoff.
And it helps our water quality and the ecosystem in the water, so it's a win-win situation here.
So what is it about mulch that you like?
Well, mulch is super important because what it does, not only does it help with weeds, but also it helps cool down the soil, which helps reduce water evaporation as it gets hot and sunny throughout the day.
So you're a mulch fan?
Always.
Don't you go anywhere, because we got a lot of flip ahead of us.
Okay, I'm staying right here.
I'm glad for that, but I'm sorry you left me.
Jen's mom and business partner, Debbie Pell, has been sharing her passion for Florida-friendly plants for over 20 years. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us. You've got your daughter out there, Jenny, as our designer. Talk about that dynamic a little bit, working with your daughter here.
She has a real good business sense. She just has a lot of different qualities that make her an excellent partner in business.
I've asked you to pick us a couple plants. What's the first one we have right there?
The first plant is horizontal cocoa plum.
That sounds like a cereal.
It has edible fruit, so you
Okay.
put that on your cereal.
So horizontal, what's horizontal about it?
It's growth habit.
This is designed to not grow tall, but to grow out.
Yes, it's very drought tolerant. It truly prefers the East Coast. It actually thrives in that salt air.
And I love the color. It's just such a deep, vibrant green. It's beautiful.
Next, we have Bahama cassia.
Tell me about this plant, Debbie.
Gets a beautiful yellow flower that'll eventually turn to seed pods, and these seed pods can be planted, can grow more.
Okay.
I picked this plant because it's attractive to the cloudless sulfur.
Sulfur's a pollinator, butterflies a pollinator, flies. A lot of people don't realize there's a lot of pollinators besides the butterfly,
Yes.
right?
Yes, some of them not so attractive.
Right, but they
still pollinate. We need them.
Oh, right. What do we have here?
This is called pineapple guava. This would be great behind the cocoa plum because it's a very upright shrub.
Okay. And do you recommend planting these in clusters or by themselves, or how would you plant them?
Well, they get fairly large, so you'd
Okay.
want to space them at least 3 to 4 feet apart.
So this will attract wildlife. Well, and they wanted some fruit trees. They wanted some of these edibles in their yard.
Yes. It's kind of nice to go out and pick your own fruit. That's what got me into gardening originally, was growing my own vegetables.
Let's grab these plants and get them in the ground.
All right.
Grab that one right there. The yard's looking really good. Let's check on some progress. A lot of plants in the ground. We still have some out of the ground. We took out a little section of concrete right here, and we're gonna fill all this in with pavers. These pavers are gonna spill out all into here. This is gonna be that nice place for them to come and relax. We're gonna put a few privacy panels up here to give them a little privacy from the road. This is gonna be the spot. They're gonna sit here and look out and enjoy their incredible Florida-friendly landscape. Trees can live for a long time, so planting it in the right position from day one is important to get the most out of your tree. Flip foreman Jake Johnson offers up a few tips. You said this is the face of the tree. What does that mean?
Okay, so with the face of the tree, it's going to be where your main focal points are. Assuming that they're going to be driving in from this side, they're going to see it from the road. Your face of the tree is going to be broad side of branches extending. So doing it this way allows this tree to look very large very quickly. Also, there is a main branch on the backside that's going to be leaning towards their new patio and offer them some shade. Sun comes up, shades the patio. This is where they're going to get the most out of this tree.
All right, let's finish planting it.
All right.
So this install was a little tricky because we started off with a concrete sidewalk, then we kind of went into just dirt only. So the installers had to level it up, create all one grade, and then that way they can go ahead and install and make sure everything's even.
Let's talk about this product a little bit because it's a little unique.
We have 2 different styles. This one happens to be called the Catalina Grana. It's a smooth finish, and it doesn't mean smooth in the sense that it's slippery, but
Right.
it's just a flat top. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's got a nice
there's
flat
no
top
texture
here.
to it. Yep. It definitely adds great curb appeal to your home, and it also adds like a nice modern look.
And 3 different sizes. So we got big, medium, and large, and these all come together. Kind of endless possibilities that these can go together, right?
There is. What's great about this product is that you have different options when it comes to patterns. So you can do a random pattern, you can do more of a custom pattern. Honestly, there's no way to put this the wrong way.
Yeah.
You have our more popular way is random, but there are other systems where if you wanted an actual pattern, there are different ways to do it.
A lot of options. What I love about pavers, if one cracks, you can pull it out and replace it.
Pop it right out, yep.
It's not concrete. If concrete cracks, you got a problem. This is where they're gonna spend a lot of time. You know, they really wanted that front porch culture where they could sit here, wave to neighbors, invite neighbors to come up onto this space, and this is gonna be that space.
It is. I know these guys come in, make it look easy. It is a lot of hard work, but it's definitely gonna be worth it.
Yeah, awesome.
Our homeowner, Julian, had collected some dock pilings from boat docks that were damaged in a recent storm. So Jen decided to work them into the design.
We're gonna give the homeowners a nice little entrance into their yard. This is all gonna be shell pathway. We're gonna use some rope to kind of wrap around here to kind of complete it. Gives this yard a nice little entrance. Anytime you're doing a wood project like this in your yard, try to use recycled wood as much as you can. There's a lot of it out there. You just have to find it.
While we're hard at work, Julian and Jesse are spending the day exploring Tomoka State Park.
We're here at Tomoka State Park, and we're going to be joined by the Abich family, who's going to be exploring Tomoka State Park both by water and by land. Welcome to beautiful Tomoka State Park.
One of the first things I noticed when coming into the park is how natural it is. You just kind of get lost in this maze of natural Florida.
One of the main activities we did today was go kayaking, and it was a lot of fun. It was really nice to be out in the water where it was really calm, relaxed.
Woo! Coming off of the water today, I felt very refreshed. It was absolutely beautiful to be out there.
Jesse, you were asking about edible plants and hoping to get some in your new yard. Here's one that is edible.
We went on a nature walk and learned about edible plants and history and living shorelines, which are like all of my favorite things. So I am very happy right now.
Being in this park really helps me think about protecting the environment, because if we don't get to enjoy some of the beautiful natural places.
This tree right here, guys, is a pignut hickory.
What is happening in our yard right now?
I don't know.
We have no idea what's going on right now. Totally in the dark.
Crazy.
It's getting close. Good gosh. That's what I call a mulch pile. Your mulch is here.
Yes, I'm so excited.
We got a lot of work ahead of us because all of this has to get all out there, spread out nice and evenly. We need some help, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right, everybody, the mulch is here. Let's mulch.
Mulch is really important. Not only does it smell good and look good, it also provides a cooling to slow down water evaporation.
Okay, so while we're mulching, let's get a yard maintenance tip from Tom Wickman.
We all have beautiful container plants that we want to keep looking that way and continue to keep growing. And one of the ways to do that might be to apply fertilizer. The reasons to fertilize might be to increase blooming, increase the size of our plants, just increase the overall growth, and maybe to correct any nutritional deficiencies that might show up. If you are going to fertilize, we've got water-soluble products, controlled release products, and we have natural products. Natural products are things like seaweed or fish emulsion. If you are choosing to use water-soluble fertilizer products, which are very common, all you do is measure out the recommended amount. The package, it'll tell you how much to use. Put it in your watering can and water your plant in well with it. For a controlled release product, all you do is sprinkle this fertilizer out onto the surface of the pot, but look at them first. They may not require any fertilizer at all. Indoor plants don't need fertilizer very often because they're not growing very much, so it can be many months between fertilizations with indoor plants. outdoor plants will need it a little more frequently. So just read your package. It'll give you some good recommendation for the frequency. So fertilizing doesn't have to be difficult. And remember, we don't always have to fertilize. Fertilizing is one of those things we can do to keep our plants looking and performing their best.
Our initial idea was to take all this flagstone and make pathways throughout the front and the backyard, but we really didn't know what we were doing, and we ended up buying a crate of 3 tons of flagstone.
We don't know what we're doing, and it's just sitting in our driveway. I'd really like my driveway back.
The homeowners had some flagstone left over from a recent project, so Jen decided to use that as a border material.
As many times as we've done paths on this show, we're always trying to figure out what's the best way to keep the rocks where they're supposed to be and the mulch on its side, right?
Yes.
And so you have to have some kind of border. Tell us about this border here.
So the flagstone was the homeowners. We're all about repurposing and reusing. It makes a really nice border. We opted for that instead of black plastic edging.
Your team is breaking it up and really just kind of laying it in there.
Yes. Luckily, the shell doesn't really move that much.
Yeah.
This little bit of skinnier flagstone will be fine.
We're using crushed shell as a base for our pathways. This will reduce water accumulating and runoff. And visually, they add a nice, natural Florida coastal look.
All the plants are in the ground, right?
Yes. Yep. I think I have a few more stragglers I want to get in the ground.
You ready?
Yep. Let's go.
Let's do it. Jenny wanted to create a little bit of privacy here, and so I designed these privacy panels.
To offer up a bit of privacy, we're installing 3 privacy panels. Each panel measures 4 feet wide and 6 feet tall. We use 2 10-foot pressure-treated 4x4 posts, and we use 1x6 boards for the front panels, spacing them 1 inch apart. We finished it with 1x4 boards to cover up the nail holes and to give it a nice finished look.
Very easy. We'll touch it up with some paint when we're done. But we've got a great group of volunteers that are helping me. I could not get this done without them. Say hi right here. What's up?
Volunteers from several local environmental groups showed up to help and see Jesse and Julian get their Florida-friendly landscape.
Well, I know you know Jesse really well.
Sure.
What kind of person is Jesse?
Yeah, Jesse, she helped really grow our shuck and share oyster shell recycling program. She's left it in some great hands. So she was just a dynamo, and we're excited to see this project and kind of what she does in her career.
They love this community. They love giving back. And that's one of the reasons we're here. And one of the reasons that we were able to attract so many incredible volunteers to come and help this couple. So thank you for everything you guys are doing, especially installing this last panel. We got 1 panel to go here, and we're going to be done. And the homeowner is going to be here in about 25 minutes.
I'm really stoked that Jessie's able to get her yard flipped. She is super deserving of this, not only because of her work for the environment, but also just who she is in that community of New Smyrna.
This yard is officially flipped. Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
You guys ready for this?
I am so nervous.
Yeah,
I'm so
I don't know what to
excited.
think.
Grab you some glasses there.
Thank
Here
you.
you go.
Okay, do they work? How many fingers do I have?
7. Yes, if that was.
They work. Okay, just kind of follow my voice. Let's start walking here.
So we finished up the project, and I really hope they like what we did.
We're coming up on familiar territory here soon.
Okay.
You guys really can't see anything, can you? Are you ready to see your yard?
As ready as it can be. My heart's pounding, and I can't wait to see this yard.
When I count to 3, you're gonna remove your glasses. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Remove your glasses.
It's like a state park.
Before, this yard was a mix of weeds and grass, and not much else. 8 hours later, this yard was transformed into a beautiful Florida-friendly landscape. We planted over 150 Florida-friendly plants and trees that will eventually grow into a lush landscape. We covered every bed with mulch to ensure the ground will retain the moisture the plants need. A large concrete paver area complete with privacy panels, creating a cozy spot to hang out. A crushed shell pathway with a flagstone border that connects the mailbox to the front door. A rain garden to capture and reduce stormwater runoff. And finally, a coastal entrance with reused pylons to welcome guests. And all in 8 hours.
When I took the glasses off and I just saw all this beautiful plants and trees, I was just so excited. It's absolutely a dream come true. We never could have figured this out on our own. It's exactly what we wanted.
So go check out your new Florida-friendly landscape.
It's a new house. It's like a completely new place.
The team came together, and I am so proud of how this turned out. It was a lot of fun. We worked so hard, and it really shows.
You can tell how much passion was put into this project, so thank you so much.
Yes.
Our leopard tortoise is really going to love this new yard. He's going to have the opportunity to roam out front and eat some of the plants and just hang out and get some sun, and we're going to be able to hang out with him.
I want to congratulate you guys on your new landscape. Here I have some materials for you guys. If you guys have any questions, definitely contact us. We're here to help you guys out.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So
We appreciate it.
Julian has written a song.
Flip, 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 flip my yard. Flip, 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 flip my yard. Flip, 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 flip my yard. Hey, Chad!
What?
Come flip my yard!
Flip my Florida yard! I love that song. You know, Julian and Jesse's new front yard not only looks great, but it serves as a personal example to their commitment to better Florida's environment. Well, that's our show. We hope you're inspired to help Florida's environment by starting in your own yard. And remember, everybody doing a little, well, that's a whole lot.
We've seen so much new wildlife, from butterflies and hummingbirds.
And we love our little coffee nook. We go out there almost every single day, and we even got a fire pit so that we can start cooking out here at night. Our neighbors are absolutely ecstatic. People are constantly stopping us on the street to tell us how much they love our yard.
Flip My Florida Yard is brought to you by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Protecting Florida's environment starts with you. What you do in your yard can have an impact on the health of our environment and water resources.